All right. Well, I had one thing I wanted to
Absolutely.
discuss upon first of the Super Bowl is, man, those defenses. Like they came to play. If that's one thing that was true of both Seattle and of New England, it was those
Yeah.
defenses. And we were talking about that in our show last week, but that really ended up being the case this week as well.
Yeah, like I highlighted Anthony Bradford as the guy that I was really watching, and sure enough, he got abused. Milton
Mhm.
Williams had a night, and Milton Williams had been credited. Like if Milton Williams is playing Sam Darnold literally any other year of his career, he probably has 4 or 5 sacks by himself in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Like he was
Yeah.
incredible. He just Anthony Bradford didn't stand a chance against him. And then on the other side, Will Campbell, man, he was strong. He's had a rough playoff run. I know he was playing hurt, and so I have some grace for him there, but it's just tough. It's tough to be a tackle when you've got those shorter arms, and I really felt for him, and I think Vrabel saying that they're keeping it left tackle was a good coach move. I just don't know if it's a great actual football strategy move. I think
Yeah, and
he earned the right to
you
fail at
could see
tackle, and he kind of failed at tackle this year.
that O line of the Patriots really fell apart on Super Bowl night, and I think it seemed to help hold strong through most of the season. But as we discussed, like their schedule maybe wasn't the hardest schedule. It was pretty easy,
Yeah.
and so maybe there was a little bit of a false positive for that O line that it looked like they were good, but then when they came across some real competition, they crumbled a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a showcase of Seattle's depth in their how
Hmm.
complete of a team they are. Um, Cooper Cup, JSN goes out for a decent chunk of that game, and Cooper Cup did an incredible job getting the team where they needed to be. And I saw a clip of him talking about how the touchdown to AJ Barner, uh, they had like a play call flip in the huddle, and uh, he didn't really realize it. And then as he's starting to run his route, he realizes, oh shoot, I'm about to run the wrong route. And so mid route, he switches and runs the right route. In the middle of the play, he fixes it. And
Wow.
it's just to have a guy like that. He's a coach on the field, right? And so to have that
Yeah.
value at that position on a relatively cheap deal is just an incredible asset to
Yeah.
have.
We saw as like JSN did well last year,
Yep.
but JSN was just at another level this year. And in part, I wonder if it is because of Cooper Cup coming over there and saying, "Hey, I've got 10 plus years in this league here. Here's some of the things that I've picked up and I've learned." And maybe JSN was, yeah, coached a little bit
Yep.
by Cooper Cup, and that was certainly a great addition to have to the team. Such an amazing hiring for this already really complete team.
Absolutely. And Cooper Cup also, I just want to forget to mention this. The most impressive non catch of the year, maybe?
Right. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I watching that, and then we had two of them in the game. Like, watching
Hmm.
that play, and I still don't know if the ball actually touched the ground enough for me to call it incomplete. Like that was so close. What an effort to get there. I,
I that pass was really close, and
Absolutely incredible.
I thought it just touched the grass, and so I think the refs made the right call on the field. But man, it was close. It was so close. You're
The,
right. I'd say that was a great catch.
the one other thing I want to highlight before we move on, because it would be disingenuous of us as a football show to not talk about this guy's performance. Christian Gonzalez, man.
Hmm.
What a game. He was lights out. I talked about that. The JSN Gonzo matchup in the preview. I
You
I did
did.
not see it going. I saw it being a good battle. I did not see that coming in any way, shape, or form. I was shocked. What a performance from start to finish by Christian Gonzalez. An absolute masterclass, cemented himself as a top 5 corner at worst in the NFL.
Absolutely. And I wonder if that's in part to why we saw Cooper Cup do so well on
Mhm.
Super Bowl night is just because that coverage on JSN was brutal. He was after him constantly. getting in place to get that ball out of make sure it never touched ASN's hands. Like wow, like that incredible coverage, incredible.
Absolutely. And yeah, like you said, just an incredible game. I had an absolute blast. Um, if you think it was a boring game, you're entitled to your opinion, but just you need to look a little deeper. It's football is so much more than points on the board and 80-yard touchdowns. It's that. It's defensive slugfests are the purest form of football, and Seattle just came out on top. Uh, I'm looking forward to see what both these teams do going into free agency. Um, Seattle's a ton of free agents in their secondary, and New England has a lot of work that they need to do.
Mm.
They made the Super Bowl. They are a very incomplete
Which is
team.
incredible.
Yeah, a incredible run, but they're a very incomplete team, and they've got some work they need
Mm.
to do. And I'm very intrigued to see how aggressive they get, what that actually looks like for them because they're not used to this, right? They're used to being the dominant team, not the team that makes the Super Bowl as the underdog and then has to kind of patch some holes and right the ship in the next year. So I'm very, very excited to see how this goes and how Seattle handles their offensive line. And uh, this whole league is going to go through a major restructure, as evidenced by the 10 coaching jobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Next year is going to be crazy different, and I have confidence in New England because Vrabel has done a great job. They made some of those key hirings even just outside of the draft, getting Diggs, things like that, and they have a lot of cap space to work with to get people in free agency, and we'll see if they hit on any of their draft picks this year. I know they're not picking anywhere near the front, so that might be
Right.
a bit of a struggle for them there. But in maybe in free agency, they'll do well.
Yeah, going to be it's going to be very telling how they approach the offseason. Because what you don't want is to be in a situation like the Commanders were in, where they had a great run, probably a year or two early, and they learned all the wrong lessons. They pushed their chips in the wrong places, and they were left wanting this year, right? Jaden Daniels, I don't think is going to be uh, a good comparison for Drake May. They're just very different players, and Jaden is going to be more hurt for his entire career than Drake May is, just because of the way that they're built, and the way that they play. Uh, but with that said, you've got the most important position, right? You've got
Yeah.
the quarterback, and there's no question about that. There will not be any question about that. We will not entertain it. So you've got the easier stuff now. And if they think that Will Campbell's their left tackle, then in their mind, they've
Yeah.
got their two most important positions on offense filled. And now you've got to
Hmm.
start patching the rest of it together, build your complete O line, figure out what you want to do with the running backs. Because I don't think they knew what they wanted with the running backs this year.
I know. It was a strange thing because I feel like they have got their guy with Travion Henderson. I
So
everything
too.
I've seen from him, I've loved any time they give this man the rock, right? But I, it was it just me or I kind of went when we were sitting watching the Super Bowl, I went, where is Travion Henderson tonight? I don't feel like I saw him as much as I would have liked to, and he definitely didn't have a dominant performance by any means. And so there's some concerns there, but from what I saw in the season, especially the latter half, I thought he was incredible. Really, really. I'm so glad I picked him up in
Yeah,
fantasy.
he's got the juice for sure. It's the question is going to be, can he pass protect? Because I loved his pass protection coming into the draft process. Like that was kind of his calling card at Ohio State, but he couldn't do it in the NFL, and that just
Mm.
boggled my mind because it wasn't just a oh he struggled a little bit. It was a oh he's consistently struggling play after play after play. Like what is going on? I don't know what changed or what happened, but I really hope for his sake that he's able to patch that up and get that to work.
Do you think that that's just a Henderson thing, or is that the whole running back room in New England?
Ramondre Stevenson was much better in pass pro, so I don't think it's necessarily just the room or the coaching or anything. I think it might have something to do with the offensive line because it was fine. It was nothing special this year, and Seattle definitely took advantage of that. But I think it is going to be very telling to see they might add another running back. Like they just invested a high
Hmm.
second round pick in the guy. They might add another one. And if that happens, we saw them giving Antonio Gibson touches over Travion until Gibson unfortunately suffered that season-ending injury. So I don't know how they really feel about Travion. I think he's shown enough to have a role at the very least, even if you don't want to make him the lead back. I don't know if they know what they want to do with Ramondre because he's fine, but do you want to run it back with fine when there's so much value in the running back position in the later rounds of the draft specifically? So I'm very fascinated to see how that all works. I'm Kenneth Walker made a ton of money on Sunday. He made a ton of money. He might have priced himself out of Seattle's pocket. Like,
Mm,
I don't know if they're going to be willing to pay up as much as another team is, which is crazy to think that they might not bring back their Super Bowl MVP. That's nuts.
that would be crazy. I feel like you have to do everything you can to try and get him back, but I understand money talks. Yeah,
I
and
wouldn't
that's
mind
tough.
seeing him in some
That's tough for.
blue and orange. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I could cut DeAndre Swift today and bring in Kenneth Walker, I'm doing it in a heartbeat. And I came around on DeAndre Swift this year, but K9 is just an animal, man. Watching the way that he breaks tackles is just it's so good. He's kind of an interesting merge between Swift and Monangai, to be honest, where
Mm.
he breaks tackles like Monangai, but he's got the juice of DeAndre Swift, and I think Matt Johnson would have a lot of fun with him. I don't know. I've seen some takes rolling around about it. I'm not gonna get my hopes up just yet. It's just that's a guy can dream.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about too with this Super Bowl game is we saw just such tremendous chemistry from Sam Darnold and Cooper Cup. The way that he was able to, those were beautiful throws, beautiful catches between those two. I mean, that was one of the ways which really helped get them down the field over and over and over
Yep.
again on that night. I wonder now Sam Darnold, I think he's locked in. He's going to be the quarterback for Seattle for the
Yep.
next couple of years. He's on a 3-year contract. I have no doubt that Sam Darnold is here to stay in the league. What about Cooper Cup? Do you think Cooper Cup, after this Super Bowl victory, rides off into the sunset, or do you think he stays for another couple of years?
I don't think he rides off into the sunset this year. I could see a world where he does it next year, maybe the year after. Um, I would be a bit surprised if he retired. I think he loves playing for his hometown team, and I think they love having him, of course. Uh, and so I think he sticks around. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Darnold got a big money extension this year. And
Yeah.
the Seahawks could just say we want to get ahead of this early. Because if you every year that you wait to extend your quarterback is a lot of money lost. And so that's why some teams
Hmm.
really push to get the extension done as soon as possible. So I'm fascinated to see how that goes. Like judging by how they've drafted, I'm so excited to see how John Snyder approaches this draft. And he's picking in a perfect spot to grab a guard and shore up that weakness. They're going to draft a corner high, I'd imagine, because there's no way they get to resign everybody. I think they have 3 corners that are free agents that played big
Hmm.
snaps for them this year. So it's going to be a super fun offseason, and I can't wait to dive into that in the recaps coming up.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. No, I wonder, will we be seeing Seattle in the Super Bowl next year? Will they become a new Chiefs-like dynasty or New England type dynasty? Or do you think,
They
you
are
know, maybe we
tied.
have a bit of a step back?
They are tied as the favorites with. Can you guess who they're tied with?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it
I'm
is not
guessing.
Kansas City.
Okay,
It is the
okay.
Los Angeles Rams.
The Lions. Well, okay. That's
They are
also.
tied
Uh,
to be favorites. So the NFC West is not getting any easier. It's not.
no,
It's
no,
it's
no.
only getting better. So that's going to be a blast.